Hello everyone, this is the weekly Zera Shimshon on the Parashat. This week's Parashat is Parashat Chaye Zera. So we ended the Parashat last week with the Akedat Yitzhak, the sacrifice of Yitzhak, that Avraham Avinu was ready to offer Yitzhak, his son, as a sacrifice to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu ended it last minute, and we didn't have to kill Yitzhak. And Avraham Avinu took a ram and offered the ram as a sacrifice, and Yitzhak is still alive. But the Midrash tells us that the Satan showed Sarah Imenu about the Akedat Yitzhak, and when she saw the image of Avraham about to sacrifice her son, the Midrash says that she passed away. So when Avraham Avinu came back from Har Moriah, from the Akedah, the first thing he did was to find a place where to bury his wife Sarah. And the pasuk start by saying, "Vayavo Avraham lispod leSarah ve'livkota." Avraham Avinu came, gave a eulogy, a sped about Sarah, his wife, and also he cried. So the Zera Shimshon asked a question, and he says, "I don't understand. In the nature of things, first, when a person hears a bad news, Chaz v'Shalom, the first reaction is to cry, and then after he cried, he's able to find the strength, and he can do a sped. The eulogy come after the crying, not before. So why the pasuk says the opposite order? The pasuk says, "Vayavo Avraham." Avraham came and lispod leSarah, to give an eulogy about Sarah, ve'livkota, and then to cry. The Gemara in Moed Katan says that Gimel Yamim lebechi, Sheva Yamim leesped. The first 3 days is for crying, and then the first 7 days is for the espedim, meaning first we cry and then we do the esped, not the other way around. And also we have a small chaf. If you look inside the book of the Torah in the scrolls, the word v'livkota that Avraham Avinu cried, it's a chaf ketana, chaf Zera, a short chaf. The letter is shorter than all the other letters of the Torah. So why do we have a short chaf in the word livkota that Avraham cried? And also, why do we mention the crying after the esped? It should be the opposite. So the Zera Shimshon brings from the Sefer Mavar Yabok a beautiful explanation. And he says that the Ma'ala, how great it is to give a esped on somebody that passed away. But the esped, when you eulogize about the person, so you have to talk about the person's great qualities, spiritual qualities, not just physical qualities. We're not going to talk about Sarah Imenu, wow, she used to make delicious bread for Shabbat. No, we want to talk about all the mitzvot she used to do. She used to light the candles, she used to do Parashat Chala, the Shekhinah used to come in the ohel, in the tent. Her entire life, the Shekhinah, the presence of Hashem, was felt in her house. So when a person make a sped and cries and have tears going down from his eyes because of somebody that passed away, he gives great peace and nachat and success to the neshama. But you have to cry for the right reasons. Cry for the spirituality that is being lost, not just for the material part of the person that's passing away that's being lost. Because the world to come is only spiritual, not material. So if you cry for the spiritual, then the neshama is able to elevate itself and find its peace. We know this concept of sha'ari dim'a lo nin'alu, that even when the gates of heavens are closed, unlocked, when a person cries when he prays, then he opens a certain gate that's called the gates of the tears. And the gates of the tears are never closed, they're always open. So this is why when a person passes away and the person cries for the right reasons, for the right way, that he's crying for the loss of the Kedusha, for the loss of the spirituality from this person passing away, then he reaches the gates of the tears, and the neshama can go and access this gate and find more nachat and more peace in the world to come. And the Sefer Mavar Yabok explained that this is the reason why first Abraham was giving a spade and then he cried because he wanted to explain why is he crying for. I'm not crying just because I had such a beautiful wife and she used to make such a good bread and good food and now I'm not going to eat as good. Oh, whatever X, Y reason why his wife passed away and he feels sad about it. He first gave Elijah to explain to you the greatness of Sarah. And Sarah Imenu, when she was alive, the Shekhinah, the presence of Hashem was felt around her, was felt in the house. She used to have candles of Shabbat lit, and they will lit from one Shabbat to another Shabbat. She used to bake bread, used to be warm from one Shabbat to another Shabbat. 1 week, the bread felt still hot out of the oven. Why? Because the Shekhinah was felt and present inside the house of Sarah Imenu. And this is why Abraham is crying. And also the small chaf in crying to tell you that Abraham Avinu did not cry a lot. Why? He didn't cry a lot to tell you that he's crying only for a specific reasons. He's not crying because he's sad about losing his wife. He's crying because he's sad for all the spiritualities that he's losing with his wife passing away. So he's minimizing the crying to tell you that he's not crying for the physical loss, he's crying only for the spiritual loss. And like this, his tears are going and reaching the gates of the tears in the heaven, and then the neshama of Sarah Imenu can go and reach special heights through the gates of the tears and special peace. Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will answer all the tefillot of Am Yisrael. And anyone that's listening to this shiur, Be'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should listen to his tefillot. You're looking for a shidduch, you'll find it. You're looking for Parashat, you'll find it, Be'ezrat Hashem. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with the Sha'arei Dima Lo Nina'alu, the gates of the tears are never closed. And when a person has a sincere prayer and he prays to, talks to Hashem, prays to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem always listens to the tefillah. And like this, by pouring some tears for the Geulah, Mashiach will come, Bimera B'Yamenu Amen.